Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a very special episode with a special guest. His name is Jasbeer. He has his own astrology YouTube channel, which will be linked down below in the description. And today, we are going to be talking about how we can use astrology as well as spirituality to unlock beauty, personal style in our everyday life. Even if you know and nothing about astrology, you can really use this video in your daily life to unlock a next level of style and beauty. And I can't wait to have this lovely conversation with Jasbeer here. I hope that you get a lot of value out of this video. So now, without further ado, let's let Jasbeer introduce himself.
Thank you, Surabhi, and hello, everyone. Uh, Thank you, Surabhi, for having me on the show today. It's an honor, and I'm really excited to talk about something that is usually not talked about every day on YouTube or other channels out there. So we have heard there's psychology of colors, but nobody really openly talks about how different planets influence uh, have an influence on different colors and even our days of the week and how they're influenced by different planets. Like if you're out there to do a certain task, you want to go for a certain meeting, what kind of clothing you should wear, what planet are you activating by wearing a certain color? Like, how can that have, will that have a positive impact? Will that have a negative impact? So I think this can be a really exciting podcast for your viewers as well. They get to learn something more deeper when next time they go shopping with you to see, then they'll make more smarter choices now that are going to be more soul aligned for them. And I hope we bring something new to the table through this podcast today.
I love that. And that is exactly what I want my audience to take away from this video because what I see, I always talk about color, I always talk about color theory on my videos, but something that is unique is how can we really understand what everyday is, everyday life? How can these daily things, which are astrologically related, influence us based on how we show up? So let's start with our very first question, which is if someone knows nothing about astrology, how can they use basic information to truly show up their best every single day using color and planets?
So first, we'll go with planets and the days of the week and what colors are represented. Like what each day, who's a ruling planet for that, and what kind of action should one take from there. So for example, like if we're starting off on Sunday, Sunday it's ruled by sun. A lot of people have a Sunday off. They want to give their soul a little break. They sleep in the extra hour. Sunday is usually more of soul work. Like you want to get all the personal things done. You want to make a list for the week. You want to take an afternoon off and take a nap, read a book. So Sunday is represented by the sun. Now, usually Monday it is represented by the moon. Now, Tuesday is represented by Mars. Sometimes, if you want to do a little bit more something aggressive, you have some meetings that you want to conquer or like a competition you want to clear, I'll say schedule it maybe for Tuesdays. Wednesday, it's a great day to write an exam. Wednesdays are usually ruled by Mercury. And Thursday is a great day if you want to set up a seminar or like some type of group setting because Thursdays now are ruled by Jupiter energy. And Fridays around the world are paydays for a lot of the companies and stuff because Fridays are ruled by Venus now. A lot of people want to go on a Friday night date. They want to spend, they want to enjoy the nice dinners. Then we get into Saturdays. Saturdays is when you want to finish off all the pending tasks of the week. Saturdays are ruled by the big planet Saturn now. So, what color does each planet bring? What kind of energy does it bring? Like, if your sun represents your inner courage, your life force. Sun is you, your personality, right? Somebody who could be shy, somebody who wants to be more confident. They want to go to a meeting and they want to come off quite confident in the movie. They want to be looking their best in the interview, so they should wear colors that are represented by the sun. If their sun is weak in their chart or they're low on self-confidence, you should wear color because sun represents your inner fire, your life force. And what are the colors that are represented by sometimes? Sometimes these are themes that you want to incorporate, like a little bit of gold, orange, saffron, like a deeper red. These are all the colors of the sun. Now, someone who could be wearing red all day. I'll get into that in a second, but it's a very fiery color. You want to take it easy now. You want to come home and relax. You want to give the mind a break. Now we're tapping into the moon energy here. Moon represents your mind, your emotions, your inner intuition, like your inner child, your calmness. You want to come home, relax. It's moon is usually is at evening time, right? Now, the what are the colors here? Moon is represented by the softer white tones, the silvers, the pearls, the light blue. And uh, in the evening, you want to get into the softer mellow tones after a hard day work, or even during the day. Like you'll notice a lot of the religious, spiritual people, most of the time they're wearing this white, simple type of clothing, is because it helps them, keeps the energies very calm. And now, on the opposite side, if you want to go achieve something aggressive, you need more energy for the day. Instead of calmness, we need to bring a little bit of energy to the table. This gets activated by your Mars now. Mars is the very fiery planet. Now, Mars, it's very easy for see. Red comes to mind when we think of Mars. Red, scarlet, coral. These are the colors that are represented by Mars. It's the planet of action, courage. So if you want to go into court, you have some type of issues going, you want to have a bigger meeting at the office, you want to keep like a red uh, pocket square for men sometimes, or they want to have a red tie, especially. Like if you'll notice some of the bigger businessmen out there, I think Donald Trump at one point used to wear the red tie. He was known for his famous red tie. And sometimes a little incorporating red like that can have a big influence on your aura. We'll talk about how colors also influence aura later. Then now, next up, if you're someone who's student or you're studying and you want to clear your big undergrad exams and stuff like that, I now we're talking about a little bit of Mercury here. Mercury is usually represented by green, light emerald type of colors. And if you have a big presentation to do, or if you want to get on stage and you have a big speech, you want to incorporate some kind of green because you're activating your Mercury through that color now. And if you are shy or you're tensed up, your nervous system is really locked because Mercury rules your nervous system. You'll notice when you start bringing green into your life through clothing and different, like even colors of your room or having a little bit of greenery plants around and stuff, like you'll feel your nervous system relaxing. You're able to speak better. Then, after Mercury, let's talk about the bigger planet, Jupiter now. And you'll see naturally a lot of the food that are linked to Jupiter, but there's also colors now. Jupiter, the first color that comes to mind is yellow, gold, and like that yellow of the turmeric. Um, so that yellow tone is usually represented by Jupiter. Now you'll see a lot of the monks or sometimes different religious folks again who are studying, who are in the Montessori's, they usually wrap themselves in yellow type of fabric. And it helps change their aura, their personality, so they are in tune with the wisdom, the expansion, that type of teaching personality. And the best day for a lot of people is Friday. Venus is linked to money, but also um, to activate fully Venus, we'll talk later. But the colors white again, pastel pink, your sky blue, your lavender, they're naturally Venus tone here. Like I'll give you a little bit of personal example here, how astrology and impacts of Venus. More than half of my closet is white and baby blues and these lavenders because I'm Taurus ascendant. I'm naturally ruled by Venus. Even now, you'll see me wearing white on my turban and then a little soft blue shirt. I feel more confident. I feel 100% me. I'm more happy, smiling. Like, whereas if I wear a color that clashes with this type of energy, I'm not in a good mood. Feel that I should change right away. So I'm naturally drawn to these colors sometimes without even realizing. And
Wow.
next up, yeah. And next and last here is Saturn. Saturn rules your Saturdays, and you'll see a lot of the authority. Sometimes we want to do um, people in authority, they want to wear the dark blue, black, the navy, the charcoal colors. Now that's all Saturn. When we talk about discipline, somebody serious, you'll see them wearing a dark navy blue, black suits. That's all Saturn. So these are the planets, and how each color can change your mood, your personality, and have an impact on different days when you're about to complete a certain task sometimes.
That is so interesting. Even I learned so many new things just by that. So that was definitely so eye-opening, especially with the green and Mercury. I think that is definitely something people can benefit from here, given that when you have a presentation, you can really, capitalize on that green and wear something green to channel in your message in a proper way. And same goes for the blue. So to my audience, I always recommend them to wear either red or blue when you're presenting because it really, really helps the audience pay attention to your message. But green is also a really good one to add there. What would be your take on the blue when it comes to, you mentioned that, Saturn is the blue and Saturn would be representing the charcoals, the blues. But what if I have a presentation during the work week and I want to wear blue? What would you recommend on that front?
It depends on what you're going for in that blue tone. Like blue is authority. Are you going up for a presentation or a seminar that people listen to you? You want to be in like authoritative position where you take command, you take lead, then that color is going to work very quite well with you. But if you're going for an interview wearing deep blue now, and there's a VP and the VP of the company that are sitting there, and you take your aura, you'll see the natural tension kind of build up sometimes that there's a suddenly there's a struggle of power in the energy, not because of your personality or something. So these folks, they might have a different opinion. Whereas if you were to wear something a little bit like less strict, like a little bit more calm, something maybe as simple as a white shirt sometimes. And it gives the VP the color of deep blue a little bit more edge that, hey, we have authority in this room, not you walking in.
Wow, that is very interesting, actually. And what would you consider in that front? For example, you just mentioned about the color thing about interview. So if someone is going for interview, you mentioned white could be a color. What other colors would you mention green? That they could wear green when they go for an interview, or what other colors could they wear if not blue?
This is where the personal study has to come in and see, like, each person is different and each chart is different, each personality. But in general, like somebody who's shy, somebody who's quite reserved, they're scared of speaking up, they get nervous, then you know that their inner courage needs to be awakened up. As I mentioned earlier, and the planet that rules the inner fire, the inner courage is sun. So you want to wear colors like a little bit of a theme, like they want to put a gold handkerchief in here, make sure they take some type of a gold with them or activate their sun a little bit, right? But if they're quite shy, they're really nervous, they stutter when they speak, then you want to incorporate like maybe a little light green shirt to get the mercury activated and a gold tie, maybe somehow you want to layer that. Like a gold tie can go a long way with your courage as well.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So gold and green are basically the secret sauces to nail the interview. I love that. And I also really like that little thing that you spoke about, the ascendant and how that ties in with your color and like the colors that you gravitated to it. So would you recommend that the audience basically finds out what their ascendant is in their chart, like their rising sign, and then they naturally figure out their colors as well?
And yes, if you want to deeply incorporate these type of energies into your daily life and really understand what works so that they can benefit 100%, I highly recommend studying their charts or having it examined by professionals so they can get the right guidance. It's just like medicine. If, if medicine used in the right way, monitored, it can heal them, but if it's overdosed, that can lead to serious health issues. Same thing with colors. Now, it's not only the ascendant, as we know, whether it be Vedic or Western astrology, you have Aries ascendant, Sagittarius, Aquarius, all these 12 different types. There's different colors and planets that influence, but at the same time, in the chart, um, you notice some planets are exalted, some are in a negative influence, and this really matters. Like, for example, if you're going to wear your sun colors, but your sun is afflicted, it's under a negative influence. So those colors that you're trying to wear for sun, they could actually backfire on you sometimes. Like, I'll give you a personal story here. In my chart, my Mars is depleted, which means my Mars is in a water sign, so it doesn't give 100% of its strength that it should. You would think wearing red is going to help increase my strength or bring out that fire in me, but really it backfires. I have zero red t-shirts or zero red shirts in my closet for red because I have seen this over and over. There's two things that happen. The day I wear red, either I'm going to get in a fight or I'm going to have a headache because there's too much energy inside me that it cannot be contained. So you would think that if I have to go and voice opinion or be strong somewhere, I should take my red. But I know that color before even stepping out of the house is going to backfire on my own body.
Oh,
So
wow.
I cannot take red.
Wow, that is so interesting. So that means I definitely have to kind of ask my clients to look at their charts, because if the generic advice is, red and blues are amazing for presenting, it could be different based on your personal chart. So that is very interesting to know. And that is why it's also for us to use this knowledge in our daily life to make the most of our knowledge. And if anybody wants to book a personal private reading with Jasbeer, I highly recommending. He has a Vedic astrology knowledge, and you can definitely book a call with him. All links down below in the description. So now let's move on to the aura. As you mentioned a little bit about aura and that pastel essence when it comes to color, how do we really activate that color? How do we know what is our personal aura color?
So this is where I do honest, simple astrology because my astrology is more spiritually like soul based. I don't get into these aura scanners. You do your coloring. Hey, I see more purple in you. It doesn't work like that. People need to understand that deeper. Auras work in different energies. So auras, there's 4 or 5 different elements. Just like the earth has fire, water, earth, like space. There's 5 different elements that make up a human body, the 5 elements of the earth. It's the same thing with aura. Aura is layers and layers of who you are. There's a physical body, there's an emotional body that you carry, there's the energetic body, there's a subconscious. So there's different layers that get activated uh, with you. But just before we tap into that, I want to touch a little bit on the energies of the colors and the fabrics and how they impact our life. Like the kind of fabric that we wear really impacts our aura as well. Now, what are the fabrics that are commonly used? There's many different types, but some of the bigger ones are like polyester, cotton, linen, wool, silk, and which ones should we wear and why? Nowadays, everything is mass produced, and a lot of the times you'll see 90% polyester and 10% cotton, sometimes on the labels. But if you want to go on a vacation, you want to feel relaxed, your physical body feels relaxed, people tend to wear linen shirt, silk dress, linen over. It's more breathable fabric to say because the frequency of linen is totally different than polyester. Our human bodies are also energetic. We remit, we take frequencies. So the best fabric that I've done notice that does a lot of difference on my body is linen, then cotton. Wool also has a positive impact. And but with the natural fabrics, there comes a push and pull of energy absorption. Now, what is energies? So there's 2 primary colors. Like if I say these aren't even colors, sometimes color people can say like black and white. Okay. If you're wearing a black shirt and you stand in the sun, you'll feel burning. But if you wear a white shirt, you feel that it's going to take you longer to feel the burn of the sun. It's kind of similar with emotions. When you're wearing those black fabrics, black shirts, black kind of colors, your body will absorb the emotions of the environment. Whereas when you're wearing white, you're emitting, you're reflecting those emotions back. It doesn't matter. Like that's why a lot of spiritual folks, they're wearing white all the time. It's a color that does not absorb energies.
That is very interesting, actually. Yeah. And that is something which we always see, right? When we wear black and we go into sun, we definitely feel so much more sweaty and it feels unbreathable. But white is a vacation color, definitely. So that is so interesting to link this in with this information. And now, even looking at the aura part, as you were saying, how does this influence the aura and how can we truly activate that personal aura?
So now aura ties in back with the different planets and the colors. Like if we're talking about emotional body, we mentioned moon controls your emotions. And moon, it kind of intertwines with Venus a little bit here because moon also rules some of the cream colors, just like a little bit of the Venus. So it's a fine line between moon and Venus. But if you're having a lot of emotional burden, if you're going through something heavy emotionally, last thing you want to do is wear black. You're going to end up absorbing colors of the environment as well. You want to be naturally more gravitated towards white fabrics, white shirts. Um, it'll keep you lighter on the physical body because aura is made of what you wear physically, a white shirt, that's going to have an impact on your emotional body. And let's say you have a big case, a issue, a fight that you have, or let's say there's a rift going on somewhere between two parties and you want to go voice your opinion strongly. That's where I say if it's supported by a chart, you want to wear the red colors, the Martian energy a little bit. You want to go with the red shirt, and your aura becomes naturally fiery there. But tying in a little bit into the Friday nights or the Venus colors, like Venus is ruled by aesthetics, your jewelries, your perfumes, your clothing, the fine food. So going on a date on a Friday night, you want to try to stay away from the heavy, heavy reds. You want to you want to bring in the natural colors that are ruled by Venus there, that you're not ending up in a situation that's disturbing your aura or your partner's aura. And there you want to try to stay in a very neutral type of colors there, where let's say you're wearing soft white and both of you want to go for a little walk in the beach. Everything just feels so peaceful and aligned.
That is interesting. What if I want to wear red? How does that go about? How would I manage the energies?
If you want to balance like you have a favorite red dress you want to wear, for example, right? But you want to balance that somewhere now. Like a lot of people sometimes they invest in jewelry. Maybe you want to wear like a pearl necklace that's ruled by Venus. That's going to tone down the effect of the fiery red there, and that's going to kind of help you neutralize that now. So there's ways you can accessorize, and you're still appreciating the beauty of the Venus, and you're not so as aggressive anymore. So that red gets cut down where this know a little bit more with styling now. Maybe you want to put in a little bit of pearl earrings that are reflecting the heaviness and bringing that calmness down.
That is so interesting because I love pearl and I love red and I'm always pairing it together. But that is interesting that it actually has a logic behind balancing that energy, especially when you're going on dates and you're really trying to bring in that Venus energy in love. So I love that. And now let's talk about the juicy part of the video, which is Valentine's Day. So next month is Valentine's month, and we want to really channel in that magnetism, that beauty to attract a dream relationship, or even nurture the relationship that we already have. So how can we use all of this information to channel in Venusian beauty to even attract a dream man, or to really nurture that relationship that we already have?
So to fully awaken the Venus energy, it's not something you go buy and purchase from externally. And one of the key things here is smile is from within, right? Like you have to awaken that inner confidence, inner smile, inner Venus energy. Now, how does that get awakened? How do you appreciate it? You, first of all, have to be acceptant that you deserve the finer things of life. You cannot be rejecting those. You have to be able to willing to invest in the things that Venus likes, like a new dress, for example. You want to accessorize a little bit. You want to finally invest a few dollars in buying perfume. Venus gets activated when when you look your best and you dress your best, you're stepping into your Venus energies here now. Like when you're just picking anything out of the closet without giving it thought, you're actually hurting all the inner energies or your soul at that point that, hey, I don't appreciate you, I don't respect you, that I'm just going to wear whatever. But if you give it some thought, you take the extra minute to put on your favorite cologne or perfume and a little bit of makeup. These are all things that are ruled by Venus. So when you step in to your best appearance, your Venus will be activated.
I love that because I can see that in my own life. When I started to become more mindful of my clothing, of jewelry, perfume, makeup, I saw myself change. I saw my communications change, relationships change. That is beautiful and it does work. I love that. And we can definitely channel that in on this channel where I really talk about dressing your best. I have so many videos on this channel about that. And how can we truly start being more intentional with our fashion to activate that Venusian energy? I love that, definitely. And now
So
let's,
one tip I sorry, one tip I do want to give you, Survi, there is I know everybody has busy lives when it comes to dating and doing different type of things. Like if I just share one example here, sometimes if somebody's working and they don't have enough time to go home and change, they're like, "Oh, can I just meet you for coffee after work or something?" And I'll say that's a big no-no. Um, Sometimes, like for example, construction field, somebody could be wearing those dark reds or darker colors that they don't get dirt or muddy boots or muddy shirts. They want to stop by for a coffee. That's Saturn is work. You haven't activated Venus yet, even from your office. What you want to do, and it's very important, you go home and you take a shower. Shower neutralizes your energies. That water sitting in a bath, having water run over your bodies is going to neutralize a lot of the emotions that you've been carrying for the day. You're starting a fresh chapter for that evening. And this is why it's very important before you start dressing up that you neutralizes all that heaviness from the day, and then you step fully into your Venus energies. You start bringing out your makeup for the evening, the nice dress, the wash clothes, and the perfumes you want to wear, and then you step out to meet somebody. Then you're in a different type of aura, different personality here. Instead of just carrying the weight of the day and just bringing the energy of the office, and your date is not going to go as well as you should be making that extra effort for a few minutes at home. And that neutralizing period, I call it that bath or that emotional or spiritual rinse, whatever you want to name it, water cleanses you in more ways than you know.
That is so beautiful because I feel the same. For example, if I do have to go on a date after work, I always make sure that I change my outfit and I redo my makeup and all of that because I'm in a different energy, So that is a beautiful thing, and that's a beautiful tip for everyone in on this channel to even if you're going for coffee, please come back, change your outfit, change your vibe, and then go on the date because you're going to have more playful energy. And Venus is all about that playful energy, that goddess energy which is within you. And you're bringing that out through your fashion, through your makeup, through all these things, beautiful things which represent the goddess of beauty. So that is such a beautiful conversation, and I'm sure that the audience on this channel has benefited heavily from this conversation. This conversation itself is gold for you to now go into your wardrobe, declutter your wardrobe, and start picking out outfits that would benefit you every single day for your work, for your love life, as well as for yourself to become the most beautiful version of yourself. Stay tuned for our video next week, which is incoming, as well as I post weekly videos here on this channel. And thank you so much, Jasbeer, for coming in today. It was amazing to have you here. Would you have any last advice or anything like that for the audience before you go?
I just want to say thank you, Surbi, for having me. This gave a new perspective to how astrology and spirituality can make a big difference on our day-to-day tasks. Even simple clothing we wear now, people will be able to look at it in a different lens. And this is where you help people step into their highest potential by helping them shop and pick out the colors that truly best match for them. My last advice for anyone watching today is you have one opportunity to enjoy this life through this beautiful physical body. Dress it and appreciate it the best you can before it's too late. You'll never have this opportunity again. So this body is a gift from the divine or above to be able to experience a life out there in the best form. So look your best, wear your best, and be your best. Thank you, Surbi.
I love that. I think the last line was just so beautiful. That is definitely everything, which I talk about. So definitely that's beautiful. And thank you so much again, Jasbeer. All the links to connect with Jasbeer are going to be linked down below in the description if anybody wants a private reading from Jasbeer all about Vedic astrology. And thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next week.